Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I don't know if I look different. I don't think I look different. However, I might be a little tired. It is getting close to 12 o'clock, but I was watching AEW All Out. Um, you know, I don't watch AEW. I don't watch the weekly shows. I don't watch the pay-per-views, but I will watch the big shows where something is expected to happen, something might happen. I watched All In and now I'm watching All Out. It's not done yet. Like believe it or not, but I'm just doing this show cuz I wanted to get it over with. So, I'm All Out. It's Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland right now. I'm not watching the match right now. I'm just doing this then cuz I don't think that anything special is going to happen except it's going to be a good match, obviously. But yeah, it's gonna be a good match. I don't expect any returns. I was expecting Shane McMahon to maybe debut in AEW, which is crazy. A McMahon in AEW. So yeah. But anyway, I'm your host, Nate, on the Marking Out for Wrestling podcast. We have a variety of topics we are going to talk about, and most of these things were done before today. Like the topics I'm going to talk about, they were written down before because I usually write them as the day goes on, so I don't forget. But the first thing we're going to talk about is Swerve Strickland and Adam Page getting compared to The Rock and Stone Cold's rivalry. Okay, listen here. Maybe for this generation, which I'm a part of this generation. However, maybe for this generation who like didn't go back and watch the rivalry, and are just watching this. Yeah, they could be for years to come. They'll be like, you know what was a good rivalry, a heated rivalry. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. And people who seen The Rock and Stone Cold during the Attitude Era, and they are people who are saying, you know what was a very good rivalry? The Rock and Stone Cold. They are saying that, but I personally do not think it is on the level. Maybe it's on the level, but it's sure not better. For sure, not better than The Rock and Stone Cold, because The Rock and Stone Cold, they're literally game changers to the WWE. Game changers. Not saying Hangman Page isn't. Not saying Swerve Strickland isn't. However, I think The Rock and Stone Cold are on a different level. If I hear The Rock is gonna, so let's say 10 years in the future, Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland aren't in AEW anymore. The Rock will appear on WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin will appear on WWE. And then we get an announcement. Swerve Strickland will appear on AEW after multiple years. Hangman Adam Page will appear on AEW after multiple years. Which one is gaining the more fans? Now, I'm not saying at the same time, because obviously I think people would watch Stone Cold and Rock. But I don't know how to word it exactly, but like, which one would gain the more audience? Let's say AEW's at 600,000 viewers every week. WWE's at, 800,000. For example, these are examples. And those announcements are made. Who's going to gain the more audience? Is AEW going to gain 15,000 more audiences to watch the show? Or is WWE going to gain 50,000? That's what I mean when I say game changer. I think The Rock and Stone Cold, that's just a legendary rivalry that can't be replaced, can't be, better. Nothing is better than that. Nothing. Swerve Strickland and Hangman is in the books. However, they're not better than the Rock and Stone Cold's rivalry. And it's not on which one's better, the Rock and Stone Cold or blah blah blah. I get it. You might pick that. The generation now who watches AEW. I don't watch AEW, so maybe I have a different perspective. And as you guys know, I am biased. So you guys wanna debate with me? We can debate. But yeah, I think that they don't touch anything near the Rock and Stone Cold rivalry. But our next topic is 2025 WWE. I think 2025 WWE is way too overrated. I know it's shocking. John Cena will be in WWE. The Rock versus Roman Reigns. We have a possibility of getting that match. They're going on Netflix so more people could watch it, because not everybody these days have cable. So I know me saying this is shocking. However, I think Raw, perfect. Chef's kiss, perfect. Raw is going to be perfect. All right. That's going to be a good show. However, SmackDown, don't forget, SmackDown is not going to Netflix. They are staying on USA. They are staying on cable. And unless they stop the brand split, like I suggested in my last podcast, SmackDown is going to be under the waters. It is. Raw has, Roman Reigns is going to be on Raw. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre. All those stars are going to be on Raw. Who's going to be on SmackDown? The people who don't get a chance? Like Ilja Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes. The people who want to build their rivalries. That's a good idea. And Monday Night Raw just has the main eventers. However, who's going to tune in to see the show? That's a good idea on the superstars' behalf. The wrestlers who get to shine and do this. But financially for WWE, that's not very good. Because there's not going to be anybody watching the show as much. Because people aren't going to know who they are. Let's be honest. If let's say, I don't know, my mom or dad go and, I try to get them to watch Raw, they might watch Raw. Because, there's Roman Reigns and his character and his storyline. There's The Rock, from the past. So everybody's going to watch that. However, SmackDown, I feel like it'll definitely be hard to get my mom and dad to watch SmackDown more than Raw. Because they have people that I don't even talk about. I talk about Roman Reigns, The Rock, these people. But I don't talk about Carmelo Hayes, Ilja Dragunov, like around my house. Because it's like they don't have that good character. Carmelo Hayes has more of a character like he's in now this generation. Like he calls himself him. That's this generation. And Ilja Dragunov, he doesn't have a character. Yes, he's a good wrestler, but he doesn't have a character. One of the best in the world. Hands down, one of the best in the world. So I think 2025 WWE is a little overrated on the SmackDown side of things, because SmackDown should go to Netflix as well. Why not? Have Netflix add in, maybe another $1 billion for the WWE. Make it $11 billion deal for SmackDown to go to Netflix. unless they are stopping the brand split. Because if they stop the brand split, we could have all those superstars appear on SmackDown as well. But that is enough with that. I would take that into consideration if I was WWE, or if I was the WWE fans who are hyping 2025 Netflix, or 2025 Netflix WWE. I would take that in consideration. However, next topic is WWE title designs. Now, that people are definitely going to disagree with me with this, but I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the Intercontinental Championship. The white strap is better than now. I disagree. Excuse me. But I disagree because Netflix, what? What am I talking about? The white strap, I threw myself off with the last topic. But the white strap is literally, it fits certain people. I will be honest. Like The Miz, it fits him perfectly. However, it doesn't fit a lot of people. It fits only fits like a handful of the roster good. Like it looks good with, let's see, The Miz, Cody Rhodes, yeah. Yeah. I can't think of everybody on the top of my head. Like Dolph Ziggler too. But let's say John Cena was to win it. I don't think it would look good on him. And let's not forget, he hasn't won the Intercontinental Championship. He hasn't. I think the black strap and the circled title looks good on John Cena. I could imagine it looking good on John Cena. Gunther looks good in any title. Let's be honest. The United States one, he's gonna look good in. World Heavyweight Championship, he looks good. WWE Championship, those titles he looks good in. Gunther's gonna look good in any of those titles. Finn Balor, he looks good in both of the Intercontinental Championships. However, not every, let's say Roman Reigns was to win. Like nowadays, Roman Reigns, he was to win the Intercontinental Championship with the white strap. Let's say that. It's, first of all, it's like, I wish I could pull a picture of it right now, but I don't feel like doing that because I didn't search it up to begin with. But it's literally skinny. Then it gets bigger a little bit. But the new strap, it's a whole circle, so it's big. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's gonna look good on big guys. Pause. Like Bobby Lashley, I don't think he looked good with the white strap. He didn't. He would look good with the black strap. The United States Championship, that's the best title in the WWE right now, I think. It looks the best. Let's be honest. It literally looks the best. And people are saying that, the one that we had before with John Cena looked better. Yeah, it looked good on John Cena. But it didn't look good on, let's say, I don't know. Let's say, I'm trying to think of who. Now everybody's blanking. But let's say that Kevin Owens got the title. Which one would look better? The one from back then or the one now? I think the one now. Finn Balor is the same thing. The one now or the one then? I think the United States Championship from now would look better on Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, even Bobby Lashley. That's what I think. What other titles? We got the WWE Championship. I know I don't like the new design, actually. I'll be honest. I don't. If they were to go with bring back the winged eagle, I wouldn't be mad. I think that is better than the title now. However, not the one that with the wings come off of the title a little bit. I think the circled one. I can't get a picture on it right now, but if they brought that back, I would not be mad. That title looks phenomenal. It's the best title in the WWE hit in all of its history. Well, I think the World Heavyweight Championship Big Gold actually replaces that. However, you know, I think it's the best title in WWE besides the Big Gold in all of the history. However, I think if they wanted a modern day one, they should go back. They should have went back with the black strap because gold. I don't know. I don't really like it. Like it would look like imagine Bobby Lashley with a gold WWE championship versus a black WWE championship. I'm not trying to get into a race because I know Bobby Lashley's black, but no, I'm trying to like the black strap WWE championship and the gold strap WWE championship. Which one is better? Cody Rhodes would look good with both the gold strap and the black strap, but I don't know if he looks good with the new title just because he has blonde hair first of all, and he has that blonde or that gold on his ring gear. But you know, I think the black strap is better. I think it's better, to be honest. Um, the World Heavyweight Championship, I think they should go back to the big gold. Now, I don't have a problem. At first, I hated the new design. It kind of grew on me because the you know, I just think they should make the title bigger. I hate that the title is so small. Like it literally annoys me. Yes, for the certain people it's been on, it looks perfect. Damian Priest, imagine him with the bigger title though, or the big gold. Imagine Drew McIntyre, him with that title, the bigger one, or the big gold. Drew McIntyre with the big gold though. Come on, come on. Who else has won the WWE Championship? The current champion, Gunther. Imagine him with a bigger title as well. I feel like the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship should be. I don't know how to explain it. Like they should be bigger than all the titles. Like at least a little bit bigger because the middle is actually a gold. The other titles they have color in them. However, they're not really gold like that. But I think the world titles should be bigger because when they brought in the World Heavyweight Championship, the new one, it just at first it was just like a normal title. I feel like if they brought it in as a bigger title, at first it wouldn't be like a just a normal title. It would be looked at as a world championship. But enough of title talk. We are looking at John Morrison. I know he hasn't come up in the news at all. However, I just feel so bad for John Morrison. Like I know he's doing good right now. I think he's in AEW. I don't know exactly. Hold on, I'm about to look at this pay-per-view real quick. Okay, swear Strickland's bleeding. Table's broken. Okay, sorry. I got off track. But John Morrison, I feel bad. I think he's in AEW. I don't know for sure. I'm gonna have to look that up. However, he is at the age where he's pushing 50. He's 44, so he's closer to 40 than 50. However, he was so good. When they brought him back in 2020, man, there was a variety of people who I was really truly upset with when WWE released them. John Morrison was one of them. Like other people, I was like, I get it. You know, they, I get it. I get it. But however, John Morrison was one. I was like, how? Karrion Kross and John Morrison were. Oh my gosh! Like I literally was doing 2K videos, WWE 2K20 at the time, where I booked what would happen. I booked what would happen. I had John Morrison on top. I had Karrion Kross dethroning Roman Reigns. Oh my God. John Morrison was a United States champion, and I don't regret any of that. I don't. John Morrison could have been a star. He could have been a WWE champion. And when The Miz turned on him, they didn't even have a match. And I think when they did have a match, it was on main event. I don't even know for sure. However, John Morrison, he's perfect. However, I wouldn't bring him back now because he is 44. And, I just feel like in the mid card, we have younger stars like Carmelo Hayes, like Braun Breaker, who, you know, I wouldn't have John Morrison beat for the world title. I mean, for the Intercontinental Championship or United States Championship. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But John Morrison is so underrated. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves, really. Like with promos, as a heel, he is fantastic. Imagine him as a face too. I know a lot of parts of his career he hasn't been a face really because he's been with the Miz. He's been, you know, but when the Miz turns on him, he's like when the Miz turned on him recently, the most recent time he was in WWE, he was one of the biggest faces. Then he got squashed by Omos. John Morrison, man, he's one that's definitely like they failed him. John Morrison, Karrion Kross, that they failed them, bro. Like Karrion Kross could have been, he still could be if they book him correctly, but they both could have been world champions. I'm serious when I say this too. They both could have been world champions, but no. John Morrison, all you had to do, have him win the United States Championship. He already won tag team gold. Have him win the United States Championship. Have him defend it. Have him lose it. Have him go in a couple ladder matches too. He's a, I don't know what you call it, parkourist, but he does parkour. He literally does parkour. So he's uh uh one of those flippy guys, But man, they failed him so bad. But we're gonna get into our next thing. And I know he was a little older when he was in WWE recently, like 2021, 2022. However, you could have done so much. You could have did so much with him. So much with him in that time. Now he could still go in the ring. He could literally still go in the ring now. But I feel like it's too late to start going with him like nowadays. I feel like if he was already on top and you brought him back, I wouldn't mind. But he was never on top. He was never a top guy to bring him back and all of a sudden win a United States Championship, win an Intercontinental Championship. Have him go in a few ladder matches as United States Champion. Have him win. Then have him go in a couple Money in the Bank qualifying or Money in the Bank ladder matches after he loses the title. He doesn't have to win Money in the Bank, but show off his skill. Have him, he does highlight reels, a human highlight reel. I forget. I think it's Kofi Kingston that has that mark, but like John Morrison, he has potential, or he had potential, and they just failed him, just like that. And I don't think a lot of people don't talk about how much potential John Morrison had when they talk about who did WWE fail. It's always Keith Lee. It's always, Keith Lee and these other people, but it's never John Morrison. I don't hear his name. When John Morrison debuted in AEW, Johnny Elite, they immediately thought of Johnny Gargano. Like, come on. Come on. Johnny, first of all, John Morrison, you know his name is Johnny and he just takes the place he works as his last name. And you really thought that was Johnny Gargano. Come on, man. Like, John Morrison is so underrated. But we're about to get into the next topic now. We have AEW, Warner Bros. Discovery. Deal done? Is it done? Tony Khan did say after Collision yesterday, I think it was, he said that they were doing so good and AEW on TNT and TBS is here to stay, I think. So AEW is here to stay, and I do think Warner Bros. Would be very unprofessional and not a business if they did offer AEW more money than they first did. I'd be honest. I think they'd be not a business and unprofessional if they did. Because AEW hasn't improved since they first started. It's went down, you know? Or it's at the same level. Yeah, they don't have these stars anymore. They don't have Cody Rhodes. They don't have, John Moxley, CM Punk. They don't have these stars. However, I think they're still at the same level because when they first started, they didn't have that much stars, but they had, a decent amount. Then now they have stars, but they don't have the other ones that they started. I know you guys are like, probably, what am I talking about? But like, I don't know how to explain it. It literally, like, let's say Cody Rhodes was in AEW before. He left. I don't think nobody has replaced him since. I'll be honest. I don't think nobody has replaced him since. That's in the company now? No. You could argue and say Bryan Danielson. But no. I don't think Bryan Danielson has replaced Cody Rhodes in AEW. I don't. I think in terms of storytelling, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes were the biggest storytellers in AEW. But I think if I was, Warner Brothers, I would definitely offer AEW a lesser contract. I think Tony Khan ended up taking it just to show, like, man, the numbers aren't going to get out. They might, but everybody's going to be like, it might not be accurate, I'm going to look at this match again. All right, this match is still going. However, it might not be accurate. The numbers could get out, but it might not be accurate. So if I'm Tony Khan, I would take that deal. I would rather a deal on Warner Bros. Than go to YouTube, than to go to YouTube. But I do think Tony Khan just took whatever they had. I know he probably negotiated, but it probably didn't work out, I would say. And I would take the deal I was given than to go to YouTube and just look bad. Because after all that trash Tony Khan talked about WWE being the Weinstein of of pro wrestling, and then this crazy stuff that he says to this day, just to go to YouTube, like, come on. But next topic: Kevin Owens leaving WWE. Now, when this topic came up, I was incredibly mad at the way people were just reacting, saying he should go to, WWE or AEW because why? Because he did everything he needed to do in WWE? Are you kidding me? Is that how you look at things now? You look at things as you did everything you needed to do, now you're leaving? Look at The Undertaker. 30 years. 40 years, actually. I don't know exactly. But Triple H, 30 years. John Cena, 20 years. Kevin Owens, 10 years. So is that how you look at things now? You look at things as you did everything you needed to do? I'm talking to the fans. I'm not talking to Kevin Owens. If he feels that way and he wants to go to AEW, so be it. I think Kevin Owens would be a storyteller in AEW too. He would be one of those who's not just gonna let Tony book him in matches on top of matches. He's gonna be like, all right, come on, Tony, I need a storyline. So book me in a storyline or else I'm leaving. I feel like Kevin is one of those people. But people need to stop looking at it as I did everything I needed to do. Or he did everything he needed to do. And so he's leaving. I think he's leaving. I think he should go to AEW. He did everything he needed to do. First of all, we still got to get that Sami Zayn heel turn on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens has always turned on Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn has never turned on Kevin Owens. That's the crazy thing. But, yeah. Obviously they could do that somewhere else, but it's not going to change where the storyline where they do it. So imagine in WWE, the biggest promotion ever, the biggest wrestling company ever, to do it there. Because all of their storylines have been in the indies. NXT even, you could consider the quote unquote indies. Because they didn't have a good, big enough audience. Imagine that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn storyline on Netflix. That is something older people would watch. Oh, what's the history? WWE releases a history about them. Imagine that. So older people would watch Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn heel turn and storyline. It will. So imagine if that storyline is on Netflix. If it's on AEW, I'm not gonna want to go to AEW where the viewers are declining to have one of the best storylines with my best friend. No, I'm gonna be with my friend and say, oh, look how we went from on YouTube storylines at Ring of Honor and the Indies and that stuff, all the way to being on the biggest company ever, the biggest wrestling company ever, on Netflix. What? Yeah, I would stay in WWE, but it's like people need to realize you can still be a big impact if you're not in, if you already did everything you needed to do. Come on, look at Undertaker. He didn't do everything he needed to do, or he did, but like in terms of winning titles, he didn't. But he didn't need it. He did not need it. He won the World Heavyweight Championship. He didn't need it. He could have gone his whole career without winning any titles at all, and it would still turn out the same. So, Brock Lesnar, he was still in WWE. He did everything he needed to do. Why was he in WWE? Yeah, he might have not won the Intercontinental Championship, just like John Cena, just like Sheamus. But at the same time, they don't need that to do everything they needed to do. Sheamus, he's probably going to win the Intercontinental Championship. Let me just see IC title, because that's doing too much. But the IC title, Sheamus, he's probably going to win it, but he doesn't need it. That's for sure. Sorry. That's for sure. Kevin Owens could be in WWE for 20 more years with doing everything he needed to do. But do people not witness talent like John Cena become 16-time world champion? Do they not really, you know, witness people like Triple H become 14-time world champion? So he won the Universal Championship once and it was a flop to lose it. Losing it to Goldberg. Which if I was Kevin Owens, I'm staying until I'm winning another world title because I'm not losing my first ever or my last world title in WWE just like that. I'm not. And when he lost to Goldberg, I would have refused to do the job. I would have refused to do the job. You want me to lose to somebody who is a part-timer? What? When I could have the biggest storyline again with my, this is literally an example. I could have the biggest storyline again with one of my friends at WrestleMania, the biggest stage. And you want me to lose the title to have a mid-card title and then do the same storyline but with the United States Championship? Man, get out of my face. That's what I'm saying to Vince. If I'm Kevin Owens, get out of my face. You know, Goldberg can go back to, you know, go back to playing with his son. You know, I don't know. I just came up with that on the spot, but come on. I don't know. People are acting like he can't stay in the company for 20 more years, 10 more years even. I just hate that when people say things like that. Like even when they were in that time frame of saying everybody gets released from WWE, right? AEW confirmed, AEW confirmed. Oh my. And then AEW fans have the balls to say, why does everything? Oh, that doesn't mean that these talent are going to WWE when AEW talent leaves WWE, and people are like, oh, he might go to WWE. Is he going to return to WWE? Oh, people who are going to return to WWE since Triple H came back, Adam Cole, Swerve Strickland, blah blah blah, and then fans are like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Like, come on. I don't get it, but our next topic is gonna. Hold on. I'm not even gonna get into the next topic now, but people like Bryan Danielson, there's less to do in AEW to say, oh, he's done everything he needed to do in AEW than in WWE. Jon Moxley, I could see him being in AEW for 10 more years, 20 more years. And then you're going to say, like, when Jon Moxley already won the AEW championship. He won the AEW World Championship. There's not another World Championship in AEW. So what does that mean? Jon Moxley should leave AEW and go to WWE? Or retire because he's done everything he needed to do in his wrestling career? Man, Jon Moxley has wrestled in New Japan. And you're not going to say he's done everything he needed to do in his career? Man, get out of my face with that. But people, like, I feel like this generation of wrestlers as well, I think they're going to be leaving WWE more often than back in the days and like wrestling companies, because notice how we have Hulk Hogan, biggest, star of an era. Stone Cold Steve Austin, biggest star of an era. The Rock, biggest star of an era. John Cena, biggest star of the era. Roman Reigns, biggest star of an era, but his era only lasted about, I don't know, 5 years. If we're really looking at it like that, because John Cena didn't fully leave the picture and become once a year type guy until like 2019. So, we could say Roman Reigns, 5 years. Cody Rhodes, he's almost 40. He's almost 40 years of age. So that's gonna only be like what? I would say at most 10 years as the face of WWE. And who knows how he feels about retiring. He switched it up a couple of times. Then Austin Theory, I think they should push the pedal with Austin Theory, but that's for another video. Yeah, Austin Theory was pushed. All right, I'm not even gonna get into that because that's another video. But Austin Theory, he could have that. Braun Breaker could have it, and then Austin Theory. But they are the same age, so I wouldn't do it. But at the same time, that's like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. They're the same age, but they still ended up doing it. But yeah, definitely think that nowadays era will be leaving WWE and AEW like more often than WW than back WWF than back in the day. But our final main event of marking out for wrestling, we have AEW All Out review. Now, obviously, the show is still on, actually. Oh, no. It ended. I don't know who won. I'm about to check. This is live happening during the show. None of this is getting cut out either. The show is over. Let's see who won. What is going on? Alright, I can't find who won. I'm not about to take that time. But I don't know. I gotta see after the show. Or after this show. But I'm talking about my complaints on this show. I tuned in when it was like in the middle of MJF versus Daniel Garcia. And then I tuned out in the middle of the Young Bucks tag team match. Tuned back in when it was Jack Perry and Bryan Danielson. I have my complaints. First of all, here's when I'm gonna be getting loud. First of all, okay, you have Bryan Danielson pinning Jack Perry. The referee 1, 2. The referee pushes Jack Perry's leg to kick out. Are you serious? First of all, the person who is responsible for Jack Perry kicking out should be Jack Perry and Bryan Danielson. Why are you touching the wrestlers? Unless you're helping the wrestlers because they're injured or because they're, something might have happened. You're picking up a blade that they used to cut themselves with. Unless you are doing that, why are you helping them kick out? Person who helps them kick out should be up to Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry. When Jack Perry's not kicking out, Bryan Danielson should, maybe throw himself off of Jack Perry so it makes it seem like he kicked out. The referee, I'd rather the Damian Priest incident. I'd rather them stop counting and try to say that that Jack Perry kicked out than to push Jack Perry's leg off. Are you kidding me? That just, I don't know. That didn't ruin the whole match because the match was good, but I was like, what is going on? But then I have a complaint after the match. Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Pac turns on Bryan Danielson. The BBC turn on Bryan Danielson. Wheeler Yuta doesn't turn on Bryan Danielson. He's still on his team. Here's the problem. All right. Claudio. Uppercut to Bryan Danielson. You know what Bryan Danielson does? He falls on the floor and is like, what? Why would you do that? Why would you uppercut me? Are you kidding me? You fall on the floor from an uppercut. You know how Claudio's uppercuts are, too. You know how they are. They're vicious. Why are you sitting there as if he just pushed you on the ground? He uppercutted you. You're no selling it. and you're just sitting there like he just pushed you on the ground. The least you could have done, either you could have acted like you got knocked out, laid flat on the ground, or you could have did an Edge. When Edge got low blowed by Dominic Mysterio, his eyes were literally looking right at Dominic Mysterio in his eyes while he's falling and staying still. He's not talking, nothing like that. He's not blinking even. That's what Bryan Danielson could have done. He could have been like, boom, uppercut. He could have fell on the floor like this and literally looked at Claudio like, oh my God. That's what he could have done. But no, he just sold it like as if he got pushed on the floor. Are you kidding me? That's what got me mad. Then, my third complaint is Wheeler Yuta is getting held back, right? They let him go. He stands there for a little bit, and then he runs to Bryan Danielson. What are you doing, first of all? Why aren't you running to Bryan Danielson right when they let you go? Or even attack Pac. You know, have him push Pac. Maybe have him punch him. You know, have him try to fight them. But no, he just stands there and then runs over to Bryan Danielson. Are you kidding me? Man, I've had enough of that. I'm still gonna watch the big pay-per-views, but other than that, I'm not watching no AEW. At some point, I tried to watch AEW. I told y'all about this when I watched the Kyle Fletcher versus MJF episode of Dynamite. I was trying to watch that, and then I just couldn't watch it, and now I'm never watching a episode of Dynamite ever again. Like, even the whole CM Punk incident, they released the footage. I don't care. I'm not watching to see the footage first, or I'm not watching the whole show to see the footage. I'm waiting till it's on YouTube, till it's on Twitter, till it's on Instagram, cause they're on there like that. And whole time I might miss something while I'm watching the show. While I'm watching, cause that's what I do all the time. I literally miss everything when I'm watching, and then I look on Twitter. I'm like, wait, what? When did this happen? What? You know, the backstage segments in WWE when there's Bray Wyatt things in the background. I don't notice them ever. Ever do I notice them? And then all of a sudden on Twitter, I see it, and I'm like, I didn't see that. You know? So I'm waiting till after the show. That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting till after the show. But ladies and gentlemen, that's been Marking Out for Wrestling with your host, Nate. And remember, this right here is Mark. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning in with me. And I can't believe I literally did that either. I could have waited till after the All In show or All Out show. But I just ended up doing this right before or right as Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page was starting. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys had a good day or had a good day. Yeah, it's 12 o'clock, you know, get some rest, get to sleep. But yeah, peace.